What is up, everybody? Today's trade cap for June 12th, 2026. Intel took one trade on Nvda for around a $2,800 win. So very, very solid day. And in this video, I'm pretty much going over right what the market did today and what opportunities there were. Right today, there was like SpaceX. Like today is literally a generational day. Right, SpaceX IPO. There's also Trump news, and overall the markets were very choppy. Right, but there were opportunities. Right, there are names like AMD, Intel, Nvidia. Right, where like there were some opportunities and you had to be aggressive and have like a game plan beforehand if you actually want to execute on these names, because the continuation was just not there on these names, right? So if you just were not prepared, you were not capitalizing on these names, right? So let's go into the video. So let me pull up my pre-market game plan, pretty much show you guys how I found Nvidia, right? And why I found Nvidia, right? What was the thesis behind me kind of calling it out this morning? Give me a second. So this, okay. So 830 wants to keep spy hold previous high level for a move to the upside, right? Very, very basic game plan. Let's see what happens to the market with SpaceX IPO, because honestly, anything could have happened. And honestly, I thought that the IPO was going to launch at 830, but it actually launched at 920. So 920 Central Time, which is 1020 Eastern Time. So tech names on watch, Nvidia calls above 206, right? So within the market, within actually at market open, right? I have Nvidia calls on watch above 206. I'll talk about why, right? But let me pretty much go over everything first, right? 849, going to wait till 10 a.m. to take a trade, because I want to kind of get SpaceX IPO like started, so maybe more volume would come in. We get cleaner price action. 909, Nvidia calls on watch. 205, Nvidia calls. 206 TP1 scaling here. 45% stop loss trailers under previous high level and out Nvidia. So very, very straightforward day, right? We're just patient and wait for a good setup to appear. That's literally all I did, right? So how did I see Nvidia today, right? I'm gonna be honest, right? It was a little bit harder if you're a beginner trader to kind of understand why I kind of had Nvidia on watch, but pretty much simple terms, right? I want to see buyers defend this 200 zone and us kind of use this as a baseline for buyers to take control and push it back to the upside, right? So I wanted to use SpaceX Catalyst and also the SpaceX Catalyst as a kind of a thesis for the market to bounce off this kind of big drop that we've been having, and Nvidia had a good zone also as well to kind of bounce off of, right? So want to see is 200 kind of break and retest of the 200 level hold, right? Very, very strong support, right? Resistance now turns to support, right? That's lay to play. So again, today was not a continuation, but we did get a very, very nice scalp, right? The entry was literally so good on this name. And so yeah, what I see, pretty much saw a nice break above. Strong sellers were above here. So my initial reason why I saw Tesla was just because we reclaimed this 5 range high while QQ Spy were chopping. So I want to see these names for relative strength with that higher time frame thesis in mind, right? So we reclaimed above that 205 level, which is also a 5 range high, right? So 205, right? And now I want to see just a nice kind of a nice entry for me to kind of a good risk reward, right? So technically, I could have actually entered off this reclaim of this fire range high. Right, stop loss would simply be below fire range high. But again, I just was not aggressive enough, right? Just considering it was year to expiration, the market was choppy, and I just was hesitant, right? But we ended up getting a nice entry off this break and retest of this fair value gap, right? Right. What are confluence here? Just simply price action and this fair value gap overlap with the fair value gap right here, overlap with another fair value gap, which is right here, right? So again, the fair value gaps, guys, don't matter that much, right? What matters is the reaction at the fair value gap, right? And we have 3 fair value gaps overlapping here, so I want to see a reaction now. Otherwise, if you just rail straight through it, it doesn't matter if it's a fair value gap, right? We want to see a reaction. The reaction is the most important thing. And what did we get? We got a reaction, and we saw buyers stepping up here. So I entered actually early on this trade. Now wait for candle closure. Why? Just because it's zero day expiration contracts, and I'm trying to get the best entry possible. So entered at this candle. I'm not sure if it was at open, but near the open, right? And what's my risk to reward, right? My risk is simply a break below this this prior candle wick, right? And what I want to see, first of all, I want to see 206, right? And then I want to see pre-market high. Those are the main objectives. And then if we kind of close above, then I want to target higher liquidity, right? But that was the main objective. So yeah, that's pretty much the trade, right? Did I talk about everything? I think that's pretty much it. That was a Nvidia trade. Very, very straightforward trade, right? Just good risk to reward. That's all that matters. And let the probabilities play out. That's it. That's literally all I did, right? But let's talk about other names, right? What did AMD do? AMD as well had a really, really clean setup, but again, I just don't like trading AMD and haven't traded AMD since the contract's been so expensive. And honestly, I don't know why I haven't been trading. I don't know. Something's wrong with me and me just buying expensive contracts. I don't know. And that's actually not good because SNDK is also just there's these names that are just so expensive contract wise, they're having such nice moves. SNDK, MU, AMD, right? Look at this AMD. AMD has such a beautiful retest of the zone of this pre-market high plus previous high level, right? Which is also flat. Wait, is this previous high level? No, this pre-market high plus this 500 key level, right? This pre-market high plus that 500 key level zone, right? Literally bomb picked that 500 level perfectly, and buyers stepped up aggressively at that 500 level, very, very aggressively. So this name, very, very clean. As long as we defend this zone, right, then buyers are in control and we can move higher, right? Just considering the higher time frame so bullish, right? That's what you want to see on AMD, right? Look at this higher time frame on AMD, right? You can't tell me this is bearish, right? Clearly, right here, right? Clearly, right? Very, very bullish momentum on this higher time frame, and also overall, right? Very, very bullish as well, right? So very straightforward. Wait, am I even recording? Oh, I am. Okay. 5 minute long. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much a trade recap. Pretty straightforward, right? Overall, this week, what is it? Didn't take a trade Monday, Thursday, and the past 2 days. So again, you don't have to take a trade every single day. Like you can technically take a trade every single day because there's always going to be opportunities. But again, to capitalize on the easy opportunities, not every single day, right? There is going to be opportunities, right? But next week and pretty much the next 2 weeks, I expect us to actually have some big good setups just because SpaceX IPO is not the way. QQ and SPY end up bouncing off that level, and there's some good bullish news now with that war news, right? So we finally see SPY reclaiming that 700 very, very strongly, and now we're kind of getting back into his bullish territory. So now above the 722 on QQ, right? Now we can kind of be bullish on tech again, right? And a lot of tech names are lagging compared to QQ and SPY, right? Like even though we're only like what down like what 4% from all-time highs on QQ, like a lot of tech is down like 20-30% from their all-time highs. So we can maybe see some very, very big moves on tech, which you keep an eye out for, right? Which what names we can actually keep an eye out for? Tesla, right? Tesla reclaimed above 400 with SpaceX IPO now coming out the way. This name could have a parabolic move to the upside, right? We could be looking at we could look at yeah, we can look at Tesla next week, right? Above, especially this kind of resistance up here, right? We can look at Tesla above this resistance up here, but also, right, we have this wedge break as well. So there's a lot of kind of things you can kind of tell yourself to kind of convince yourself that Tesla's breaking out. But again, price action is going to be number one. But there is kind of like a very, very strong kind of trend line break on Tesla. If we can kind of see this happen. So that's something you could potentially see coming up next week. And then other names, I'm not going to talk about it, honestly. If I make a Sunday, what's it called, weekly outlook, then I'll talk about the rest of the names. But otherwise, I think I just dropped some decent sauce. But yeah, what is this? Yeah, 7 minutes long. Don't forget to like, subscribe. And if you have any questions, join Discord down below. Otherwise, yeah, peace.